The ANC has been dealt a blow after the High Court in Johannesburg dismissed its application for the Electoral Commission to deregister the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. The ANC had argued that the registration was unlawful. The court says if the ANC's application is granted, it will be too late for the MK party to be deregistered. It also says the Electoral Court does not have the jurisdiction to deal with the matter. This means the MK party will be on the ballot papers for the 2024 national elections on May the 29th. Well, to give us her interpretation and give us more context around what's occurred, I'm joined by SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga. Thanks very much, Canny. So you've been following this story for us. It sounds as though the court had a bit of a go at the ANC, almost suggesting that it was an opportunistic strike on their part to actually bring this case to court.
Indeed, good afternoon to you, Nombu. Well, if you look at the timeline, Umkhonto we Sizwe started its process of becoming a registered political party in June of last year. You may remember that that decision by the DCEO was made on the 7th of September 2023, so it was quite a long process. We understand that after that decision, the prescribed period is 14 days to raise your objections, and that didn't happen with the ANC. At the time, Umkhonto we Sizwe was just known as this newly formed political party, and we just heard of Jabulani Khumalo who had registered the political party. We didn't know anything further about the party at that stage. Then on the 16th of December, there is this major announcement by ANC member and former ANC president, President Jacob Zuma, who then announces that he's throwing his weight and support behind the MK party and will be campaigning for them ahead of the 2024 polls. He has since done so, campaigned for that party, and we've seen the type of inroads that political party is making and the type of showing it is expected to have in the 2024 polls. Fast forward a few days later, I think it was the 26th of December, then the ANC then takes that action towards bringing this application to the Electoral Court. Of course, the Electoral Court will come to the conclusion that it's an unjustifiable delay. The ANC at least knew about Umkhonto we Sizwe by September, and you have at least, I think, 3 days to act on such a decision by the DCEO, but however, only waited until we're now reaching months before the May 29 polls for them to raise this issue. Of course, the application was dismissed. It was dismissed on various grounds. It lacked jurisdiction of the Electoral Court. On the merits, it was dismissed as well. And on the question of urgency, there was a self-created urgency by the ANC who failed to act on Umkhonto we Sizwe's registration during the prescribed period as prescribed by the Electoral Act.
The interesting thing is that the Electoral Court says that it doesn't have the jurisdiction. Is there any other court that would have a jurisdiction over this? And would the ANC dare attempt to, to take this any further legal action on this particular matter?
So the context behind jurisdiction is that you establish jurisdiction by first going through the Electoral Court's or Commission rather's internal mechanisms. And it's only once you've achieved a decision there then you can approach the Electoral Court for further relief. We know that those internal review mechanisms were not explored on this issue of the DCEO's decision to register the MK party. Well, the ANC argued that it was a legality question, and any legality question is reviewable before a court of law, because it's a question where you must inform the way forward on various issues. But the MK is saying, no, of course, theoretically, you could have gone to an Electoral Court, or rather a decision is reviewable theoretically. But in this instance, it would have had to have gone through that review, appeal, objection mechanism process that is provided for in the Electoral Act through the Electoral Commission before you could even arrive to the specialist court.
So we're running out of time, Canny. Politically, what does this now mean?
Well, this means that you can expect MK on the 2024 ballot, and you can expect in certain provinces they may make some surprising results there, which could be a concern for the ANC. But the battle doesn't end here between the ANC and the MK, as they'll be heading to the Durban High Court, that is the KwaZulu-Natal High Court Division, which sits in Durban, to challenge the trademark. So that is the heart and soul of Umkhonto we Sizwe, the name, the logo, who owns it, who owns this legacy, who owns this rich history, and who can use this name to advance these political objectives.
Let's see what happens. Thanks very much, my colleague there, Canny Maphanga.